Hi, I'm Rob Boyd, an English photographer from the UK. I decided to create this podcast series talking to international photographers whose work I truly love. I realised I knew nothing about these amazing people apart from their names and their stunning work. So I created a set of hopefully entertaining questions that finds out who they are and what they love. Hi Stuart, thanks for joining me. Nice to see you, mate. And if you could start by your name and your Instagram name, that'd be a brilliant.
Yeah, thanks very much, Rob. Thanks for having me on the show. Okay, so my name's Stuart Mortimer. My Instagram name, Rob, is BlueBDI.
Excellent stuff. And have you got a website?
I do. Funny enough, it's bluebdi.com.
Nice and simple. Love it. Excellent stuff. And where do you live?
So I'm based in London. So yeah, with all the opportunities that entails, which is obviously great for street photography.
Absolutely. And where are you from originally?
Okay, so I'm a bit of a nomad, really. I grew up in Germany, funnily enough. So although I am British, I do consider myself more German than anything else. I spent a lot of time in Berlin. I've been to Dortmund, Hanover. So yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, and I say when I moved back to England when I was in my late teens and spent a couple of years down your neck of the woods. Actually, Rob, like we spent a couple of years in Salisbury. Then we moved down to the southeast and down here pretty much since.
Excellent, brilliant stuff. So, if I visited you, where would you take me to shoot?
Okay, so obviously living in London, there's a few of the obvious tourist places. So I think I'd probably take you outside of London, to be honest. There's a place over in Essex called Mersey Island where they do the best seafood, and they have some amazing some sunsets where you can get some awesome sort of like silhouette pictures, and I think that's probably where I'll take you.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Excellent stuff. And it's a bit of a stupid question because I was going to say, is there any places to visit as a tourist? But it's it's London, you know.
Where do I start? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's a bit of a non-starter, that one. So, more importantly, what's your favourite destination in the world?
Probably Berlin. I mean, although I left, as I said, when I was a teenager, I go back. Obviously go back every couple of years. Got a real affinity with the place. I've got a lot of friends out there, and not just for seeing or catching up with friends, but it is a great place to shoot as well. I mean, you've lot of them been out there, so
yeah, I loved the place. I thought it was amazing. The people were so friendly. It was so easy as a tourist as well that it wasn't a difficult place to get round. They were helpful. It was great.
Yeah, they are.
The thing that made me laugh, they actually apologized because they were running 3 minutes late. It's like 3 minutes late. They don't even apologize when they cancel my train to London.
No, I can identify with that quite happily every single day. I think my trains are late. So, but it's a funny thing. I was telling, as funny enough, I was only telling a story to like a sales manager company I work with the other day. There was a time in Japan, must have been a few years ago now, and it actually made national news, international news even. A train had actually arrived about 30 seconds early. They'd actually issued a public apology for arriving early. Yeah.
Crazy. It's another world. Oh God, Great Western Railway, no way in hell, Right. So where would you most like to visit in the world?
Okay, so I was obviously all the obvious places like New York. I've never been to India or anywhere on the subcontinent, if you like. India interests me a lot. It's the colours, the the vibrance of life out there. Really, it just fascinates me. Apart from that, maybe South America. Somewhere like Argentina. Um, it's got quite a strong street photography community actually in Australia. I mean, quite a few friends that shoot in Argentina. Fascinating. I'm hoping to get out to see Jude like this year. Jude in Chicago. Hopefully that'll be sort of kind of September, October, maybe. So Chicago be interesting.
Yeah, 100%. Because remember Brett when he came over? When Brett came over to the yeah. So it'd be nice to catch up with him again, and Jude as well. Jude's Chicago, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Brett Beaudry, yeah, he's top boys.
All right, a bit of a weird question. If you could time travel, where and when would you visit?
Okay, so I mean, I've thought about this quite a lot over the last week or so, and it's probably you're probably going to get the same answer every time you do the interview, but going back to the 50s and 60s, where it's such a time of cultural and societal change and upheaval. Being around to capture that would have been amazing. You look at pictures of like some of the so-called masters of photography done, and you think, those colours, the costumes that people wear, not just in America. I mean, you look at people like Ernst Haas and Sol Leiter do. You look at those classic, the yellow taxis, like the suits with the hats. But if you look at over here as well, I mean, obviously, like during the 60s, you had like obviously like the advent of kind of the cultural liberation, the teenagers' rebellion. Yeah, definitely. You've got that kind of that mod scene going on, and yeah. So yeah, that's probably when I'm going to go. I'd go back to for sure.
Excellent. Yeah, great answer. And if you could photograph anyone in history, who would you shoot?
This is a bit of a weird answer. It's easy. It's easy so, to reel off. I don't know, like people with great charisma, like Muhammad Ali, or any one of like the great cultural figures, if you like. But I was thinking about this quite a lot, and I kind of realised that I didn't have actually that many pictures of my mother. So I mean, unfortunately, she's like passed away now. But if I could go back and I mean, she was such a strong woman, and she was kind of like the life and soul of the party, really. And not just in our house, but in the community that we lived in, or communities that we lived in. Yeah, I would. I mean, if I could go back, then yeah, I would have loved to kind of sit down with her for an hour and just like really capture that the qualities that she had like properly. Now, knowing what I do now about how to a decent portrait, that would have been lovely.
Yeah. No, that's perfect answer. I mean, that's the reason for time travel. Go and get those memories you can't get back.
Exactly.
So, tell me a fun fact or a story about yourself.
Right. Well, I'm a massive, massive Jaws fan. There's probably, bearing in mind the film is funny enough, it's 50 years old this year. There's probably not a month goes by when I still don't watch it at least once.
A Jaws super fan.
Insane, really. But I've got, I mean, crikey, posters. I've got like these plastic figures of all the characters. I've got in every available format that you could possibly think of, like from Laserdisc all the way through to sort of 4K Blu-ray. Crazy about it. I don't know what it is about it. It's just, funny enough, there's another podcast called The Rewatchables, and they did a podcast on it, and um, they voted it the most rewatchable film of the last 50 years. And I get that. It's just the perfect film. And I'll probably still watch it in another 20 or 30 years as well. the day I die will be the day that they announce a remake.
Yeah, no, it's a classic, definitely. An amazing piece of cinema, really. I was going to say I know what you'll be doing after this interview, but. Right, so this is a random question. I got lots of them. What's your favourite word?
My favourite word is yes. It's such a positive word. It's 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 laced with opportunities. Never say no to anything because you just never know what's around the corner. Someone could ask me to do something tomorrow, and then you never know what it could turn out to turn out to be. Um, yeah, that's my favourite word. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's great. Amazing. Excellent. So, okay, so international podcast. I get lots of people telling me different things. So, teach me a new word or a saying I might not know.
The saying that I live by is first is first, second is nowhere. And the reason why I say that is because I am hyper competitive. If I'm playing cards, if I'm doing a cook off with like family or anything, if I don't win, it's the end of the world. Um, so it's
So it's all the toys out the pram time, is it?
essentially, yeah. I mean, we have a monopoly board that's been on the ceiling as much as it's been on the table. So, so
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, that's fair enough. So, when did photography click for you? Excuse the pun, but what moment did you realize you could take a good photo?
to be honest, I'm not really sure that I still do, and that might sound a bit silly, but um, as photographers and artists, we all look for um, validation from other photographers, especially ones that we respect. And when you get that, it's nice, but you still have that kind of imposter syndrome. It's like, am I any good at this, or did you just get lucky? I wake up some mornings and think, yeah, I'm bloody good at what I do, and then you come back or you wake up in the morning after a night out and you think, I've walked away with nothing. I just the thieves. I've been found out. I mean, it's a weird thing. I I know I can take a good picture, um, but yeah, I mean, I'm never so sort of kind of so set that I think, yeah, I've made it. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, no, totally. I think we're all like that. I mean, we're all insecure. We're all kind of, oh, should I post this? Is this something else? But believe me, you've definitely got it. Yeah. I mean, you've got your own style, definitely. You've got your own, and it works well. I mean, when did street photography, you were one of the first people I met, and I learned so much from you. Yeah, you've definitely got it. It's just, but I totally get where you're coming from.
Although, having said that, I funny enough, where was I? I was at the classic car boot sale last year, and I ran into someone. He said, "Oh, it's Mister Moody," and I was like, "What do you mean?" You went, "You're the guy that takes all the moody shots, aren't you? Like at night?" And I was like, "I am," and I was kind of like in two minds. I was like, "I'm happy to be recognised, but." Is that what I'm recognised for? Do you know? So I'm trying to, especially now we're coming into the summer months. I've just need to kind of expand my oeuvre a bit, let's say.
The thing is, though, we're always constantly changing. It's always moving. You'd be bored if it didn't. So, but it's nice to that you do that well. So I guess if you're known for one thing you do really well, then yeah, take that.
It's true. I mean, there are photographers that kind of have a style and don't deviate from it. But I think um, it's always useful to have that um, kind of rounded knowledge of or experience of taking pictures in any environment really.
Yeah, no, 100%. And talking of photography and talking of photos, what's your favorite three, and why do you like them?
The first picture that I'm going to pick, Rob, is There's a picture of a rainy night in Soho, funnily enough. I'm pigeonholing myself here. But it's got all the elements that I look for in a street shot. A, it's raining. B, it's got a neon sign in it. It's got moody lighting. It's got an umbrella. So yeah, basically in that one shot, it encapsulates everything I look for when I go out. And yeah, it's actually the cover to my zine, which so yeah, I love it. Okay, so the second shot is it's one that I've had probably the most exposure on. I was walking down a market in Soho one late afternoon last year, and I came to a market trader, and in his pop-up stall he had like the clear window through it.
Yeah, plastic type.
And yeah, plastic. And this guy walked past through it, and the way that the textures kind of got in the shot, with the guy behind it, was lit perfectly backlit, and I thought I'll take the shot. I ran off. I mean, I did sort of like run and gun with that one. I took about 10, 15 pictures. Anyway, so when I got home, opened them up, looked at them, and one of them just hit. There's no nicer feeling than and I just absolutely love that picture. Absolutely love it. And the last one is a bit more personal. I took a picture of my wife and our dog on a bed. Crikey, must have been a couple of years ago now. The thing is, the shot was taken probably a couple of weeks before she died, like our dog. And it's actually the shot that's hanging up on our bedroom wall. And I mean, it's not a technically great picture, but it's my favourite because it just showed my dog the way she was. I mean, she wasn't the most active of dogs. Her dog, our bed was her favourite place, and it's just a beautiful picture for me.
Perfect. No, I mean, that's what photography is about. It's about moments and memories.
Exactly. It's to evoke a response.
Yeah, 100%. Brilliant. So, what advice would you give a new photographer?
A new photographer? Wow. Okay, so this is basically a 101 quickly of everything I've learned in 4 years in 2 minutes or less. Yeah.
If you want to go that depth, why not?
Okay. Okay. I suppose the most important advice I'd give to anyone starting is get a decent pair of trainers, because there's no point taking pictures if you're going to be walking around with blisters on your feet. It's going to be no fun whatsoever, and you'll get disheartened very quickly. Yeah, yeah, I learned that from painful experience. The other one I would say is don't get too hung up on gear. Camera companies these days will try and push anything on you. I mean, I've still got crikey, I don't know how old it is, an XT3 that I use. I've got 3 lenses for it. That's all I need. A couple of decent primes and a decent, reliable camera. That's all you need. Well, I mean, as well as I do, Rob, it's not the equipment, it's the application of that equipment.
Yeah, but it helps if once you get the camera that you love and that sits perfectly for you.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah, that's probably the most important advice I give. And also, we're supposed to enjoy it. It's something that you're going to spend an awful lot of time doing if you want to be any good. So if you don't enjoy it and go out with almost like it's a chore, then again you're going to get disheartened pretty quickly. stop going out in 6 months' time.
Yeah, no, perfect. Absolute brilliant advice. Excellent. So finally, what's next? What are your photography goals?
Right. So obviously, as I was saying to you earlier on, traveling over the next couple of years is going to be kind of my main focus. I've just missed out on getting into a big exhibition. So obviously, being the competitive soul that I am, it's driving me on to the next one. It's like do it better next time. Another couple of books this year as well. I think is in the cards towards the end of the year, for sure. I'm sort of hunting around for new projects at the moment. So they're my goals. So it's going to be a busy year, I think, but a good one for sure.
Yeah, no, I look forward to that. That'd be good. I mean, it sounds like a solid plan to me. Well, thanks for being here. Like I say, you were the first people I met person I met when we were doing street. And
Do you know what? I think you were the first person I met. Yep, you're the first person I spoke to.
excellent stuff. And it's been whirlwind ever since, really. Right. Well, thanks. Like I say, I love your work, mate. It speaks for itself. You wouldn't be here otherwise.
Well, thanks for having me, Rob. It's been an absolute pleasure.
And no problem. And take care.
And you. Cheers, mate.